Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and this is going to be a very serious video. I want you guys to comment below and tell me why you are playing Overwatch less or why you are playing Overwatch more, and tell me what the main reason for that is. So if you're not playing it as much as you used to, let me know why, and if you are playing it more, then again, let me know why. Now, the reason I'm asking this is because I'm seeing a lot of comments all over the place, not just, on my YouTube videos and, on the official forums and all of that stuff. I mean, it's difficult to look for feedback specifically for me because I think people have got to the point where they think it's cool to just like hate on me for whatever reason and say that my opinions are invalid and, whatever. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. The fact is, I play this game every single day for hours and hours on end. I don't group with anybody, so I'm playing this on my own. Most of it is in competitive. I think the last time I grouped with anybody, this is just to put these absolutely stupid boosted YouTuber things to bed, was season 3 possibly, I think it was. But yeah, every other season I don't really group with anybody. I definitely haven't this season. I just play on my own because I think that gives me a better read on what's going on with the community. And not everybody has just got friends they can able to pull them together and go, guys, let's play Overwatch. I mean, yeah, sure, everyone's got friends, but what I mean is like at the same level potentially as you on Overwatch, because you might be, I don't know, Master and your friend might be Silver. Obviously you can't play together. You could in quick play, but it's not the same as competitive, is it? Anyway, all that aside, I found a thread on our games. Now, this is a subreddit. It's not obviously it's not the Overwatch subreddit. It's a smaller subreddit than that, where people talk about all kinds of games. The type of person on this Reddit is a fan of a lot of different games, so they're not highly focused on one game, which obviously I am right now. Maybe that's for good or for bad or whatever, and you guys probably are watching this video. You play a lot of Overwatch, right? You love this game. I love this game. Everything I try to do for this game, when I make my videos and all of that stuff, is to try and help the game grow, trying to help people have a better time when they play the game. That's all I'm interested in. I just want the game to be a fun environment. Anyway, let's look at some of these comments. So the first one we got is this. I overall really enjoyed the game at first. Sadly, the game got a bit stagnant for me. What really killed it for me, though, was both how toxic and uncooperative the community had become and the way event legendary skins worked. Now, like I said before, these are not die-hard Overwatch fans. These are casual fans of Overwatch, right? Casual players are what keeps games alive. Any game you can name, Dota, CSGO, League of Legends, they've got a large casual player base because things happen in the game, or the game is designed in such a way to keep them coming back. So I think that as a first statement, that's okay. This player doesn't like uncooperative teammates and he doesn't like toxic behavior. Okay, we know there's a lot of problems with that in Overwatch, and I've put forward some ideas to fix them, which again, I was trashed for a lot of these ideas, which I actually thought were pretty good ideas that I'd worked on for quite a long time, and I don't think they're inherently bad. Again, I think it's just a great thing to sort of hate on me for no reason. I don't get it. Anyway, here's another comment. Like a lot of people here, I played it for a few months and then kind of fell off. I think the biggest problem with the game is it's actually too polished for its own good. Everything is fine-tuned to make rounds have optimal pacing, but that leaves most rounds feeling similar to each other. Team Fortress 2 was rough around the edges, but that left a lot of wiggle room to mess around with unconventional plays. After playing Overwatch for a couple of months, I realised the game just wasn't providing many unique stories anymore. Yes, this again is a valid point, and this kind of comes back to just almost the meta in a way, right? We've all been in games, every single one of us have been in a game of Overwatch where you may pick an off-meta hero and you get the whole team will be like, get off the Hanzo, get off the Torbjorn, get off the Symmetra, what are you doing? Get off that, swap that, that's why we're losing. Because they're not willing to try anything else, because the way Overwatch is designed, there are heroes which are more optimal than other heroes. You look at if I was to give you an optimal team build right now, right? We don't know what the enemy team is, because how can I know this? But we're in the hero select. What do we want? Our tank is Winston. Our secondary support is Zenyatta. Our primary support is Lucio, right? Or maybe you could go Anna, but I'd say Lucio, right? Lucio and Zen together, really good. So you notice what I'm trying to build here is a dive comp. Soldier 76 for damage, Tracer for damage. Then we could put in a Diva, because Diva's really strong, and there's your team. And it's like, there are very optimal teams in this game. You look at the pro level, it's the same team comps all of the time, same tactics all of the time, because there's no real reason to try anything new, to try anything different, because they work so well. So I understand what this player is saying, yet I wouldn't have ever come to this conclusion, because I I enjoy playing the characters that are being played that in the current meta of the game, but I don't like the way people get attacked when they pick off meta heroes. Like, it's not great, you know. It's not fun. It's just like, what the hell. We've got another comment. Totally agree on all the rounds feeling similar. The game's almost clinical in how it flows. Every game you play just feels too much like the last one. Okay. I bought the game at launch, thought it was the best game ever after putting 50 hours into it, then just suddenly stopped clicking. Overwatch just lacks something that Dota and CSGO have, but I don't know what that is. Well, I can't answer that, but obviously this player, you know, and it's got a lot of upvotes. This player was like, yeah, he likes the game, but it's not giving him enough reason to come back. So maybe that's because it doesn't have any kind of, you know, the competitive system is not providing enough incentive to bring these players back and keep them playing the game, or there isn't enough in the way of, you know, it's not really fair saying there isn't enough in the way of custom games, because there is the whole custom game system. It's just not used enough. Like, it's very underpopulated, the custom game system is. Yes, in the next patch, they are going to make it more prominent. So when you click on the play button, it'll be one of the cards. So it'll be arcade, will be just, you know, straight there, or like straight into custom games, not arcade. You know, which will help a little bit. So yeah, this though is an interesting comment, and I kind of like this one. Personally, I kind of feel like the 6v6 format with short objective timers and lack of map selection burns you out. I found it harder to dick around in a 6v6 with friends than I did in Team Fortress 2 12v12 maps. And by dicking around, I mean playing a character you're not very good with. If you're trying to learn a new hero for the first 4 to 5 minutes of the match, you've basically lost. I always feel like I've got to play at 100%. The map selection is kind of irritating. Fuck, I'm sick of playing Control. Now arriving at Ilios. On top of that, there's way too much wasted time between matches. It's been a while since I've played, but voting plus play of the game plus experience plus loading plus new map lobby setup feels like an enormous amount of time, you know, that's wasted. And yeah, that's true. But what interests me here is the idea of dicking around. Not so much just messing about, but saying, oh, I'm going to pick this hero and try and learn how to play this hero. The best place to learn to play a hero in Overwatch is in competitive, because that's when the enemy team are going to try. If you go into quick play, you know, there are loads of footage on this channel of me playing Hanzo in quick play, just completely annihilating the enemy team. It's because their positioning is terrible. It's because I'm playing really silly. Like, I'm in positions myself where it's really risky. The enemy team push me, I'll just die. In competitive, they'll do that and kill me. So I can't go into quick play and be like, oh yeah, I'm good at Hanzo, and then go into a competitive game, because then I'm going to get destroyed, right? And that's the problem with Overwatch. And this, again, is the major problem with it forcing mains onto people. You play the hero you're good at because you really don't have any time or any chance, because you will lose loads of games playing other heroes. And because people can look at your profile in the game, they'll go, oh, you've got so many hours on Soldier. Why the hell are you playing Reinhardt? We need you on Soldier. But maybe you don't want to play Soldier. Maybe you want to learn the tanks now. Yeah, so that is a problem. And that, again, is something that I wouldn't have necessarily picked up on without reading it. So there is some merit to reading these comments from people, you know, who are, you know, these guys have obviously got a lot of time in the game, you know, but who are not like avidly following the game in as much detail as I am, and as maybe some of you guys are that are watching this video. Antidote for Life says, it lacks complexity and personal rewards. You very rarely make a meaningful impact just by yourself that's absolutely game changing. When you do, it feels really good, but usually something like a mercy res or you going ham on the enemy team with an ultimate. So yeah, so basically what he's saying is it's normally like a Genji. A Genji Dragon Blade can wipe the team, right? Maybe Tracer gets a great pulse bomb and gets a couple of kills. That's great. A Pharah ultimate can wipe the team. A great Graviton, an awesome res. They're the only times that you feel like you're almost carrying the game, I think. But you have to remember, Overwatch is a game that isn't designed for that. You know, it is designed for team play, and maybe that's what's causing the problem here. Anyway, this player goes on. In Dota, that's the same exact... it's the same, except every kill means something. The person will be losing gold, XP, and the time on the map. In Overwatch, it just means they lose some time on the map, which for the most part is irrelevant because there's 6 of them standing in the same spot, so killing one person isn't fulfilling. Killing 4 to 6 people is what's fulfilling. Well, not really. If you kill somebody in Overwatch, that's a massive advantage. If it's a 5v6, then you should win that, yeah? So getting the first kill, the entry kill, you'll hear people talk about a lot. So when you go into a point to fight, that first kill, it's crucial. You get that, you can probably start snowballing through. So it is huge. I don't necessarily agree with that comment. And then it says CSGO is the same thing, where you can feel personal rewarded for each single kill because you outplayed them, usually, or aimed better. Overwatch, you can just jump in as Winston and bounce around holding left click and probably pick a couple people off. It just doesn't have the same feel. Okay, whatever. CSGO, every single player needs to be able to aim. They all are essentially the same type of players. I know you've got your AWPers, you've got your rifle guys and all of that stuff. So yeah, there are different styles of players. But in Overwatch, everybody has a different role. The heroes are different. So that there's not really a fair comparison, I don't think. Then we've got this comment. A bad game of Overwatch only takes 6 minutes, but a good game of Overwatch only lasts 6 minutes. Short and sweet matches take some sting out of losing, but it also takes... I know I'm stumbling over reading these here, guys, because I'm not... It's like I'm frustrated myself, right? And let me just carry on anyway. It takes a lot of thrill of winning out of it too. I'll win a round of Overwatch, and since it was so non-committal, I'm happy. I won, but it's gone by the time I queue up again. Meanwhile, after winning an 80-minute match of Dota on Cloud9 for the rest of the night and all of that stuff. Yeah, well... There's pros and cons for that, right? You don't want to sit in an 80-minute long game of Dota, which is a defeat because you've got a troll. That's not going to feel great, right? So the fact Overwatch has got short kind of games is fine because you can sort of just go into the next game and forget about the troll that you had in your last game or whatever the hell went wrong. But the most interesting point in all of this comment was the first line, where he says it takes 6 minutes for a good game, but also 6 minutes for a bad game. And that's because of the competitive matchmaker at the moment. You either just roll the enemy because you've got a group of players who are willing to work together, and by that I mean they can play the heroes that will build a team, so you don't have 4 soldier mains on your team, for example. Because even if the soldier mains are willing to work together, they're not going to be as good as people who have put hundreds of hours in on specific characters which would fit in those slots, right? Whereas the enemy team might have that, so the enemy team roll you really fast, and then you maybe, it doesn't feel great for you because you've been rolled. The next game, you might be the team doing the rolling. It's way too random. Here's another comment. Yup, I put 600 hours into it after it launched, and one day I just stopped. I was not having fun. The community was incredibly toxic, and the meta was dull. I haven't touched it since, and I don't plan to. The co-op events were quite fun, though. Yeah, well, the thing is, toxicity is a common theme throughout all of these comments. As I said, I've put a link to this thread in the description of this video. But you guys know, like we all know, there is a problem with toxic behavior in Overwatch. And what attracted me to this game in the first place is I wanted to play in this team environment, work together as a team. I had this almost like romantic view of the game where it was like, yeah, wow, awesome. Like, all right, guys, let's work together. Okay, there's a tracer behind us, guys, that we need to group here. Let's push forward. And that doesn't really work because people are like, shut up, I don't want to listen to you, or it's like, I'm not playing that hero, I'm going to do this, or and it's just, there's a whole host of issues with it, and I don't know, man, it just needs to be sorted out. Anyway, here's another comment. Played the shit out of it for a few months and loved it, but felt I was being punished when playing with friends. We were all individually about the same skill level, and when playing alone, we all did fine, but anytime all 3 of us were together, the matchmaking would just put us through the ringer. We get put up against stacks of smurfs or players who were just better than us. Any combo of 2 of us was fine, but all 3 was a nightmare. Yeah, triple stacking is terrible because what the game does is put you against a much better enemy team because it says, oh yeah, you're 3 together, so you must be pretty good. You've got more coordination, and coordination is great in Overwatch, in theory. So yeah, we'll put you against much better players when... in actuality, what happens is those better players just stomp you and it feels terrible, so then you don't want to play with your friends again. Again, this is another issue with more casual players, and it's an issue, like, I don't want to say, like, I'm not saying casual like that's bad. You could say I'm a casual player, right? Because you could say somebody who's a hardcore player of this game would be like top 500, yeah? But I'm not top 500. My highest account is 4,230, right? But I'm not playing on it that often, right? If I played on that account constantly, it would drop down. I can 100% tell you that. It would drop down to like 4.1, 4K, then it'd probably be around 3.9, and then I'd like be struggling around 3.9, getting it back to 4.1, 4.2 at the higher end. And why is that the case? Yeah, I've probably hit the limit of my skill. And also, it's very disheartening when you lose games because of just the randomness of the the matchmaker, which is a problem, and that causes a lot of issues. But they're issues related to me. All of these issues I've seen in this thread. I mean, there are literally thousands of comments in this thread. It boils down to one of 2 major issues. The first one is toxicity, and yeah, we can moan about toxicity. We can go, oh, Overwatch has got loads of toxic players in it, blah, blah, blah. It's not down to us to fix that. It isn't down to us to become a better community and go, oh, guys, we should be really positive. I have tried my best, and I've made loads of videos, like spoken for hours and hours on the toxic problem of Overwatch, trying to promote positive play, and it doesn't work. If I can't make it work, I don't know who can. These videos have been watched by millions of people. there is no effect. In fact, it is worse. So it is not down to me to fix this. It is not down to us to fix this. It is down to Blizzard to do something to make the game less toxic, right? The punishment system is coming soon, so they say. We need an update for that because it's getting a bit long in the tooth now. And yeah, I don't know, guys. I apologize for this video. I'm going to upload this video anyway, right? Because it might be a little bit ranty. You have to understand, it comes from the heart when I speak about Overwatch. I'm not just some guy who makes videos. I don't just make pointless videos on pointless topics. There are enough channels out there that do that. I want to make videos to try and help the game. I want the game to be a better place. I want it to be a bigger game. I want it to be, you know, I still honestly believe this is the best game I've ever played. And I don't want to see it become worse because of things which should be getting addressed. I don't know, guys. Let me know about this in the comments below. If you're going to downvote the video, dislike the video, whatever, I love it. At least comment below and tell me why you are maybe not playing the game as much, or maybe, as I said at the start of the video, you are playing the game as much. Anyway, it's gone on for far too long. I've been Stylosa, guys. This is Unit Lost, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.